Hello and welcome everybody. I'm Tyler. I'm too good to be at E3 anyway, Seelick. And you're watching THLBNS, the only show that's worse than you are. Now let's get to the news of the past week. Let's start with the most important news first. We are awesome. Why? There have been a lot of rumblings over the past week in the MMA world, but none of the news is more meaningful to us at THLBNS than this. Last week, I poked fun at Carlos Condit for choosing not to defend his interim championship belt. That same day that the episode went up, at almost the exact same time, it was reported that Carlos Condit will defend his interim championship belt if George St. Pierre isn't ready by November. Since then, the fight has been set for November 17th at UFC 154. I'm not saying Carlos Condit saw the video. That's silly. It would take some Clockwork Orange type of stuff for that to even happen anyway. But what I am saying is that when the video hit YouTube, it sent signals which traveled at the speed of light to wherever Carlos Condit was and telepathically told him to man up. The truth is out there. Also in UFC news, this past Friday, UFC on FX, McCall vs. Johnson went down. In the co-main event, Eric Silva choked out Charlie Brenneman to prove once and for all that he is a long-lost Brazilian brother of Billy and Jimmy Lee. In the main event, two midgets fought for world domination, with Johnson getting the decision. At times, the fight looked like something out of Sonic the Hedgehog. Sega! Junior Dos Santos vs. Cain Velasquez 2 is expected to take place on September 22nd at UFC 152. Due to the fact that injuries rarely occur, and the UFC has had no issues recently with making heavyweight bouts, I expect this bout to happen. Also expected on this card, BJ Penn comes out of retirement to face up-and-comer Rory Macdonald. BJ Penn will come in excellent shape and is fully expected to last 3 minutes into the first round before he gasses horribly. In video game news, E3, the video game industry leader in demos, announcements, and holy shit moments, happened this past week. There was way too much news to cover despite it not being a great E3, so here's a picture of a dog. Oh, isn't it cute? Oh, you're so adorable. And now with breaking news in the video game industry, here's my correspondent, Jacob Fancy.
Did you know Duke Nukem Forever was released?
What? In movie news, a new TV spot was shown recently for the new indie movie The Dark Knight Rises. Here it is.
It's a brazen costume for a cat burglar.
Yeah? Who are you pretending to be?
These are violent criminals. They terrorize Gotham.
Born and raised in hell on earth.
Do you think he's coming back?
I don't know.
Get me back in the game. The city needs me.
You don't owe these people anymore. You've given everything.
Not everything. Not yet.
The Dark Knight Rises.
Your wife said you were taking a cab home. My wife?
Advanced box office now open, only in cinemas.
And now, you will think of nothing else and want nothing else besides The Dark Knight Rises, which will effectively ruin your viewing experience of this here video. You're welcome. The first images from the new Del Toro movies, Pacific Rim and Pinnochio, were released. Which brings up the burning question, why is Stringer Bell wearing bondage gear? Over the weekend, there was a much-anticipated boxing match between Manny Pacquiao and Timothy Bradley. Pacquiao won a competitive, yet ultimately lopsided decision, and then... Wait, what? He didn't win? How is that? How is that possible? You know what? I don't believe you. So the real question is, what could possibly contribute to such an awful robbery? Everyone knows what it's like when their favorite show comes to an end. But what is the true impact on a person's mind or even the entire world when a highly praised show finishes a season? Season 2 of the hit HBO show Game of Thrones came to an epic conclusion over a week ago. We felt covering it last week would be too soon, as these types of serious issues need time to heal and pass. the true consequences of the show ending can finally be objectively viewed. But first, we turn to the resident 15-year-old boy for his views on the matter.
You know, my mom won't let me watch it.
So what kind of effects has the absence of Game of Thrones had? We show you in this special slideshow. And there you have it. That's the end of the show for another week. On behalf of the entire THLBNS staff, thank you for watching. And remember, if you ain't cheating, then you ain't trying.